loaded us on a train, and we headed west. Nobody had any idea where we was going. I think we pulled into Kansas, which was a horse cavalry, and that's what I got, was a horse cavalry. Started out in '44, and so when we left there on ship, I went under the San Francisco Bridge,
Okay.
Golden Gate Bridge.
Yes, sir.
And I looked it up, I thought, well, it's my first time and it'll be my last time ever. When we got out of the bay and started getting out in the open water, the wind was blowing pretty strong. Waves was coming up and hitting the side of the ship and coming over the top of the ship, getting wet. I thought, well, I won't never get out of this. Had no idea where it was going. Nobody else did. And I don't know exactly how long it took us, but they pulled in at Pearl Harbor, and we didn't know why we were sitting there. Nobody got off the boat. Next time we stopped, there's a little island. We could see it off in the distance, but I think they called it Anahuac, and it was just a bunch of dirt sitting out there in the middle of the ocean. I think that's about all left of it.
Sir.
I don't remember how long it took us, but the entire trip was 28 days on the water. And of course, it was my first time to ever be on a boat, and I just about got to the point I wouldn't have cared if it was a sank. I was so tired of that boat, and that's all you could see. From there, we landed in the Manila Bay in Philippine Island, and they loaded us on little gondola trains and took us back in the backwoods or somewhere. I don't have any idea how far we was from there. They gave us a little training of some sort, and then they finally assigned us to 112th Cavalry Division. They was building up a camp for the soldiers to come back for a rest period. Mm-hmm. The outfit that they assigned me to had just come out of the hills, out of battle, and we were replacements. But we got that built up, the camp, so soldiers could have a halfway decent place to rest. Of course, the mud was knee deep, wasn't much rested. But then they started taking us out in the hills for 3 days, kind of simulation of battle, 3 different times. And one time that we started back to camp, and we met another group going out for the same thing. Well, they went to their place, and they got up one morning, they were seeing smoke, a bunch of trees off down in the holler. They wanted to go down and see it, check on it. The lieutenant said, no, you don't go down there. So they set up their mortars and lobbed off a few rounds down there, and after the smoke settled down, they let them go down and check it out. And it was a bunch of Japanese waiting down there.
My goodness.
And they said they had guns and ammunition enough for fight for months. Said if you'd went in on that, you wouldn't have lasted long.
Yeah.
So that was the end of that. But one of the things that I do remember, got a swimming pool, and they letting us GIs have the use of it. And one Sunday afternoon, there's a bunch of us went swimming, and I couldn't swim a lick. And there's a bunch of them that was playing and shoving each other off of the side and so forth. And one guy took his bracelet off and threw it out, and the rest of us trying to dive and find out who'd get it. Well, we got tired of that, and we went down to the deep end of the pool, and I sat down on the side of the pool, hung my feet off, not even expecting anything to happen. Next thing I knew, somebody slipped up behind me and shoved me off in the water. In the deep end, I couldn't swim a lick. I was fighting water like a person usually does. And I can remember very plain that I was going to drown and never see my mother again. And I wasn't saved. Finally, I felt somebody hitting me, and I thought it was just guys jumping off in the water and striking me. But it wasn't. One of the guys recognized who I was and that I couldn't swim. Mm-hmm. And he said, boys, he can't swim. So we're going to have to get him out. Well, they come in and got me, pushed me over to a ladder, and I climbed out. I don't remember exactly what all happened, win. It wasn't long till we got the word that the Japanese had surrendered. We began to move around to get ready to go to Japan. And we arrived there in Tokyo Bay. It was on Sunday afternoon, September the 2nd, in 48-5, I guess it was.
Yes, sir.
We was inside of the battleship Missouri that
Yes,
had the ceremony and the signing of the peace treaty. We went in town, no place to stay, camp set up. And the Japanese, they pulled out, went way back in the country. They scared to death of us GIs because they'd been brainwashed about what we did to people and all that kind of stuff. So they took their families and took off. That first night, some of us went into a house that the Japanese had left and had straw mats, that's all it was. And we just laid it down on the floor. That was better than laying out on the ground. And the fleas like to eat us up. Well, I come back home and I can't say I found my wife. I think she found me. The girl that I knew, she was just a kid, of course, when I left home. We got acquainted and she fell heels over.
Did she?
So, of course, she was real young. She was at least 14. We got to go together real regular. I had to go back in high school because I'd only had 1 year of high school when I had to leave. Neither one of us had graduated, but we decided it was time for us getting married. So I thought, well, I'll be an old man, so I better be getting me a woman. So our life started all over again. We went to Washington, D.C. one time, and we went through the Library of Congress, and I saw that document, that seen and heard being signed and so forth. And I got to see that document there.
Brother Lucian, I love you, my friend, and we're so glad to know you, and you've opened up your home to my family, and we're so grateful. And you guys are the greatest generation, and I'm honored to be your friend, but also to be your pastor.